Time now for a bit of Fuck Konami news, all of the news that's fit to make you say Fuck Konami, which we haven't done in a very long time, because Konami has lost almost all relevance in the video game industry. It only really hangs about with Pro Evolution Soccer, which is actually the subject of today's video, because Pro Evolution Soccer is the only relevant thing Konami does. Konami will be joining the likes of Take-Two, Valve, Electronic Arts, once Electronic Arts gave up. It'll be joining those companies in removing transactional bullshit from its games because of Belgium's findings that loot boxes and the like did constitute gambling. Now, here is where I'm actually going to have some praise for Konami, some respect for Konami, which many of you may consider uncharacteristic because Konami is Konami and Konami is the worst, and I am someone who shouts that louder than almost anybody, but they didn't try and weasel out of this. They didn't make mealy-mouthed little digs about how they disagreed with the interpretation of the law like Take-Two did. They didn't claim to stand defiant and impotently fight back like Electronic Arts said it would. Now, they did do what Take-Two and EA did and stick to that line of interpretation of the law, but it wasn't in a little sly, diggy way. They actually said they respect it and that they intend to comply with it, which, considering how bitter and nasty Konami can be, that's rather surprising. Following the publication of the Belgian Gaming Commission's report referring to the mechanics of loot boxes in video games, we fully respect the BGC's interpretation of relevant laws and made the decision to implement local changes to PES 2019 in Belgium. This means that we will discontinue sales of My Club coins for players in Belgium. The discontinuation will take place across all platforms, one after another when necessary preparations are made. Necessary preparations are made. That's what supervillains say about missile launches. After the discontinuation, players in Belgium will no longer be able to purchase My Club coins, but can continue to use, including for Special Agents. Special Agents! It is a supervillain missile launch. Their existing My Club coins, along with free My Club coins that are rewarded by playing the game. We apologise to our players in Belgium for any inconvenience caused. I love that last line. It is in almost every single statement from a company removing microtransaction currencies from their games. These apparently harmless, innocuous microtransactions. Allegedly optional microtransactions that have no impact on the game whatsoever, and yet somehow their removal can inconvenience players. I wonder why. It's quite interesting to me, especially as someone who keeps an eye on Konami, that there really has just been nothing else to talk about regarding the publisher. Part of that is that I don't play sports games, even though I am a professional athlete myself, most definitely. And a massive part of that is, naturally, the fact that Konami has been doing fuck all else aside from Pro Evolution Soccer, and of course its highly lucrative pachinko machines. And that's a bit of a catch-22, because the less that Konami has to do with the game industry, the better. But by the same token, it's also got its hands on Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, Castlevania, a whole bunch of fucking shit that's just going to be left to rot or stagnate or be turned into yet more pachinko machines. On that note, given Konami's experience with pachinko, given its experience with its gambling but it's not really gambling, wink wink, I'm surprised they didn't jump on the loot box craze with both hands. It's actually rather shocking that we did not get a Castlevania in the past few years with loot hidden in randomized premium boxes. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that never happened, but I don't know whether that was restraint on Konami's part, which would be somewhat admirable, or just sheer incompetence yet again, because it doesn't seem invested in the game industry at all at this stage. I really think, and I realise I'm just getting on my Konami soapbox now, I think the last time I played a new game from Konami was indeed Metal Gear Survive, which was, I think it was about a year ago. It was February last year, wasn't it, that game came out? I'm fairly certain. I did replay a bit of Symphony of the Night when they just shunted that up onto new systems, and that was nice to see, but it's an old game. However, credit where credit is due. unlike many of the major AAA publishers, the way more successful and money-making companies out there, Konami is actually making real money. It's not bringing in record revenue and yet still somehow losing money and having to jettison stuff in the hundreds and hundreds. And that does seem to be because of their sports games. So they are sticking to what works, even if it means we're not seeing new games of the things we would really like. Pro Evolution Soccer 2019's been making them money. There's a mobile game called Professional Baseball Spirits A that's been making them money. So it might just be that the game industry has gotten so fucking bad that everything has lowered beneath Konami, and Konami might not be the worst. It might be Konami is Konami, and Konami is the best we have. Oh God! Oh fucking hell! I only started this video to talk about the fucking loot box things, and now I feel like I'm staring through time and space into a new reality. I gotta check this news. I've gotta make sure that this isn't like a news report that's been put out from the man in the high castle. No, it is in this reality that Konami is doing the right thing, apparently. So, we've clearly moved on from the loot box thing. I started ranting about Konami and now I'm having another go at the game industry overall. Just think about that game industry. Think about that, Activision Blizzard. Think about that, Electronic Arts. Konami is better at this shit than you. You tried to weasel your way around all the shit going on in Belgium, where Konami was just like, you know what? It's time to fold them. You are the ones scrabbling and scraping and collapsing under the weight of your own growth, while Konami has been doing all right for itself, making profit, which I do know is different from revenue. I fucked something up when I talked about BuzzFeed on the Jimquisition this week, I apologise. Not that Konami isn't perfectly capable of fucking up, it has done and it probably will do again quite easily and recklessly. But fair play to them, they did stick to what they were good at, they stuck to what they knew, and it worked out for them. So this slice of Fuck Konami news is more like a Fuck Konami in general, but I do have to do what they did in Belgium and say myself, fair cop. You're doing alright. Now how's that for a twist ending?